workers imports or workers imports or workers imports or workers
I'm like a
imports are
DJ,
still
y'all.
far apart on negotiations.
I'm like a DJ with this. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do it again. Let's do it again.
Workers imports are still far apart on negotiations this morning, and worry that the strike will last for weeks could be fueling a surge in panic
It's
buying.
going down, y'all.
Stores across the country are starting to see
going
empty
down.
shelves, really long lines.
Panic.
This is one in Virginia. I'm sure we all remember the hoarding and
if you got any money, better go shop now.
Supply chain issues during the pandemic. News Nation seems
I ain't got no money, so I might be coming to take yours.
Investigative reporter Rich McHugh is at the Port of Elizabeth in New Jersey. And Rich, these supply chain fears will only grow the longer this strike lasts. How far apart exactly are these two sides?
Well, good morning, Marky. It's hard to say exactly from the owner's perspective of the port.
And it's funny too. This is funny that it's happening right close to, that election time, or should I say the selection. And a lot of people like B-Dale has said that B-Dale said that he don't believe there's going to be an election or a selection this time. You see what I'm saying? So this could be a reason why this is popping off right now, because they need to throw a monkey wrench into the machine. That's right. They got to throw a monkey wrench into the machine to create some type of chaotic excuse for them not to have no so-called selection. You see what I'm saying? And they don't matter to me anyway, because I'm not voting for neither one of them. But I'm just telling you that this could be, this could be the reason why this is like a psyops, a distraction. But it could be a real distraction. This could be really, really going down. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like we probably gonna be like, shit out of food in a minute. You know what I'm saying?
But in talking with some of the longshoremen here this morning, they are dug in, prepared for a long fight if needed, and it's like a party atmosphere out here. They're not going anywhere. Most goods that come through here for Americans, everything we eat, wear, use, comes through ports like this. Most of them, not all. Last year alone, it was $588 billion worth of goods come through ports like this one. And people are freaking out, and it has people buying in panic. Take a look. From Maine to Texas, dock workers at 36 ports.
Look at that. Man, look at Pennsylvania over here in red, y'all. Look at Texas, man. I didn't know everybody was in red. Man, states on strike. Look at that. That don't look too good, man. I might have to fly to the West Coast, get up out of here.
Ports along the eastern U.S. have walked off the job for the first time in decades, raising serious questions about disruptions to the supply chain and the possibility of widespread shortages if this continues. Here in New Jersey, customers at Costco stocking up in case.
I needed supplies. I had no choice. And of course, I'm like anybody else.
His name is Bob Baker. I thought it was Bob Barker, like the Price is Right.
Heading a long-range strike at the port, so that's why I'm got a trunk full of stuff.
Cases of water, paper towels, and the elusive toilet paper.
People were living with 7 or 8 in their carts, and there's none.
Man, people crazy with this toilet paper, man. I mean, come on now. Let's just keep it real, dog. In the case of a Pandizia pop off, the last thing we worry about, you could just use a rag. I mean, I use wash rags anyway. You shouldn't even use no nasty toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? You toilet paper don't clean nothing anyway. Plus it's all bleached up and got chemicals in it anyway. You know what I'm saying? You not clean unless you put some soap and water on your behind.
And they said come back tomorrow.
Social media posts like these popping up about runs on.
Look at that, man. Look at that. The shelves is gone. Lord have mercy.
Toilet paper showing shelves normally overflowing with paper towels now barren. Chris Spears, CEO of the American Truckers Association, predicts consumers will see shortages.
I don't know why I'm feeling excited, man. Don't y'all feel excited about this, man? You know what I'm saying? I wanted to shut down. They keep gang stalking me anyway. You know what I'm saying? They done messed up my money. I don't give a damn about the Matrix no more. Shut this bitch down.
In the produce section as early as this week.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're going to start to see things slip into the holiday season. I want the community to start preparing. I want them.
It might not be a Christmas, y'all, nor a Thanksgiving. Can I get a no there?
To go get essentials. You don't have to rush panic buy, but I do want them to have some essentials at their house. Toilet paper, paper towels, things of that nature.
The Biden administration hoping to avoid chaos.
You can't eat no toilet paper.
scenes of hoarding like this from 2020
Look
at
at
the
that.
start
Is that all that toilet paper in the carts?
of the pandemic. They say they're working nonstop with both sides to push the negotiations forward. Now, Americans have such PTSD from the pandemic, but one silver lining here, Marky, is that toilet paper, paper products, paper towels do not come through here. They're made in America or Canada and Mexico, and so do not come through here and have, there's no need to rush out and buy these products, Marky.
Okay, really good to know. Rich, I was telling you yesterday, I've been to Target
He said don't need to rush out to buy that. You should be getting some food, if anything.
every day for 2 weeks trying to find my daughter's baby formula that comes from the UK.
Wow.
Store shelves have been empty, but you don't want to mass buy because I don't want to become part of the problem, and panic buy and not save some for other parents
Right.
too.
It's scary.
It's scary. Yeah, Rich McHugh, thank you so much.
And that's another thing too. What she just said, that panic buy. It could be a psyop. It could be just because you know how back in the day when they used to come out when the news would show there's gonna be a snowstorm. Like let's just say we had businesses out here that wasn't making any type of profit, like selling shovels and salt and stuff like that. So they would create a false snowstorm just so people could go out there and panic buy and buy a whole bunch of shovels and salt, and then no snow come. Nothing happened. You see what I'm saying? But they would do it. It would be a psyop just to create the economy for these businesses, because these businesses be hurting. So they need people to go out there and buy. You see what I'm saying? So, this could be just a panic thing going. It could look, like I said, you got to look at it on both sides. You know what I'm saying? There's always two sides of the coin, right, left. This could be real. It could be a psyop. It could be fake, but only time will tell.
Really great report. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com.
I'm going to go ahead and show the other one. Hold on.
Spirit Halloween's now. Mercagliano. The ports are closed, man. They're all Spirit Halloweens now, according to Ramp Capital. I know you've been incredibly busy covering all this stuff, Sal. What's the latest right now? I saw from Lorianne, it sounds like there's nothing going on. The ILA said they're waiting to hear from the USMX, and the USMX said they have no updates.
Dooner, it's quiet. There's nothing much going on in shipping at all. Holy cow. It's ridiculous what is happening right now. The Maritime Alliance and the ILA, which are at loggerheads here, they've been negotiating via press releases, are really going back and forth. So what we saw at the last minute before the strike on midnight was Maritime Alliance came out with an offer that looked pretty good. I mean, 50% pay raise. They were offering 3 years of 3 times the amount of retirement money for the members. They were talking about expanded health care. And the biggest concession they made was they were agreeing to hold in place and lock in place semi and automation in the ports. The ILA has come out and refused it. They've just basically said no. We've seen Harold Daggett on the picket line. He has come out and said no. You have the White House come out with a press statement from the president saying that the U.S. Maritime Alliance, which is largely composed of foreign shipping companies, needs to make good to the ILA. So if you're the ILA, you're in the driver's seat right here. There is no reason for you to sit back to do anything but to wait until you get what you want, which is the 77% pay raise. They want some container royalties coming in. That's a new one that they've added to this. And they want to make sure that there is not going to be automation that replaces their jobs. This is bad news for everybody else, because what this means is that the port strike may continue longer than we thought. I was envisioning that based on that offer by the U.S. Maritime Alliance, close to what the ILA wanted, that they would sit down at the table at the end of the week and maybe hash out a deal by next week. Now it looks like the ILA wants to maybe push this a little bit longer.
Oh, it sure does. I mean, Daggett was bad. And if you haven't heard, like the normies, the people who don't follow freight, they're not like obsessed with this stuff. They're finally hearing who this guy is. They're hearing that interview from 3 weeks ago when he said he wanted to cripple the supply chain. That clip has been played over and over again ad nauseum. And it's really turned the public against the ILA's cause. But I think it's worth giving some clarity just to listeners who are not familiar with the players who are at stake here. Now, the ILA, those are the dock workers from Maine to Houston at the ports. But you mentioned the USMX. A lot of foreign companies are in that. What is the USMX for those who are not familiar, just so people are clear on who they're fighting?
Yeah, I mean, Daggett's out of central casting. If you asked, to come up with a union boss, that's who you come up with. But, I did a long Twitter thread today where I did this. It's like, listen, what you're seeing right now is the ILA. You're not seeing the Maritime Alliance. And I think that's a key thing that the news agencies need to do. They need to go get the Maritime Alliance. So if you look at the Maritime Alliance, it's really made up of three things. It's made up of the port associations, those are the port operators, it's made up of the stevedoring companies, and it's made up of the ocean shippers. But the majority of seats on the board of directors of the U.S. Maritime Alliance are held by foreign companies. One of the largest port associations, for example, is Ports America. That is owned by the Canadian Retirement Fund. So Canadian retirees own most of the ports in the United States. But the 7 big shipping companies that are on the board, and it's a who's who of shipping companies. We're talking about Maersk from Denmark. We're talking about Hapag from Germany. We're talking about CMA CGM from France. We're talking about ONE from Japan, Evergreen from Taiwan. We're talking about, most importantly, Costco, not Costco, the big box store, but Costco, the Chinese overseas shipping company. That's a state-held company by mainland China, communist China. So, there used to be communism in longshoremen all the time. Now we got communism negotiating with longshoremen for this new contract.
Leading up to this, there were some deflectors. Oh, it'll never happen. The government will step in. Someone's going to stop it. Now that it has happened, I'm on LinkedIn. Some of these same logistics professionals are like, well, it's only going to last a day or two. I don't know if these people are really talking to the right people. I don't know if they're listening to Daggett. The reason I was so concerned leading up to this, and people were like, oh, it's clickbait, it's not going to happen. I had, the CEOs of giant global 3PLs DMing me, I think this is going to happen. We're pretty certain this might happen. Prepare. Daggett, when asked how long this will last, he said to Alias Daggett to Wall Street Journal's Paul Berger, and I quote, he said, I don't have a effing crystal ball between my legs, but it will last very long. I would tell you that.
First of all, you got to love Daggett. He is absolutely the guy you want to interview at all times because of what he says. Back in June, I put a video up where I said, this is going to happen. And the reason I said it was going to happen is because, number one, I was talking to ILA members, and they were hearing from their bosses, hey, stockpile, don't get yourself in any purchases that are going to be a problem because come October, there's going to be an issue. They were setting this up from the very beginning. And I think if you were Harold Daggett of the ILA, you had to look what happened with the ILWU on the West Coast and the PMA.
Shout out to all the doomsday preppers, man. Shout out to all the people that have been stockpiling for years. You know what I'm saying? I salute y'all. Y'all had the money to do it, because trust me, if DB had the money, I would have been had me an underground bunker. I'd have been out of the cities. But no, they had the gang start me and put me, surround me around a bunch of fake bot people. You see what I'm saying? So all the people that had the opportunity to go ahead and prepare for this, so I salute you. For those that didn't prepare and you weren't being gang stalked, then that's your ass, Mr. Postman. You should have stepped your game up.
They saw that negotiation. They took that, what happened there, and they modified their rule book. They looked at what happened with the United Auto Workers, with Boeing, with everybody else. And Daggett is putting himself and the ILA out there as the barrier to these foreign shipping companies. That's the narrative he's trying to propel. And it's taking hold because he's getting it from the White House. He's getting that image. Now, what you're seeing shot back at the ILA is, these are guys and women that make 6-figure salaries. I had somebody text me just the other day from the ILA saying, yeah, I'll eventually make 6 figures, but I'm not doing it right now. It takes me 6 years to work my way up just to be a full-time employee with the ILA. This is not an easy thing. And again, what they're trying to do is convey this narrative. And I think the Maritime Alliance, we need to dig deeper into them and see who they are. Because what you haven't seen is the shipping company guys come out. I've already seen Harold Daggett's yacht quite a bit. Show me, Vincent Clark's yacht from Maersk. I guarantee you he's got a nice big yacht. And he's one of the major shipping companies here that are controlling this issue. And let's not forget, one of the big issues that the ILA have is automation, but wages. You and I talked about this a lot during the supply chain crisis. Those amount of wages and money that the shipping companies made was astronomical. Last time they negotiated this contract was 2018. 2018 was a net loss for the container liners. Now in 2024, they have the biggest years they ever had, 2021, 2022, and 2023.
I'm going to stop it right here because it's getting up to 15 minutes. If y'all want to hear more about this, comment down below. Let me know, man. I'll do another video on it. It's going down, y'all. DB Gang Stalker Simulation. We out.